call the April 22nd, 2021 meeting of the Parker Planning Commission to order at 7 p.m. Would you please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? John?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, John. Thank you, our audience out there, for attending the Parker Planning Commission meeting. Before the meat of the meeting begins, I will emphasize that if you wish to make public comments on the item in this hearing, you must be joined into the Zoom webinar link posted on the town's website, www.parkeronline.org/planning commission. Facebook Live participants are only able to view and listen to the meeting. Now would be a good time to leave Facebook Live and join the Planning Commission meeting on Zoom if you wish to comment on any agenda item by using the Zoom raise your hand feature. We appreciate your attendance at the Planning Commission and your cooperation. Roll call. Absent tonight is Eliana. Seated for Eliana is Tracy. Absent tonight is Susan. Absent tonight is Eric. Absent tonight is Ruth Ann. Seated for Ruth Ann is Anthony. I think that, so there are 6 of us, which is a quorum. So, Bryce, are there any additions to or deletions from the agenda?
No, sir, there are not.
Okay, thank you. Approval of minutes. Are there any additions to or corrections to the minutes from the April 8th, 2021 meeting?
No, sir.
Hearing none, do we have a motion?
I move to approve the April 8th, 2021 meeting minutes.
I'll second.
It's moved by John, seconded by Rich, that we approve the April 8th, 2021 meeting minutes, and I will call the question. Rich?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Tracy?
Aye.
Kim?
Aye.
Anthony? Anthony?
I'm abstaining because I was not at the meeting.
Okay.
Hey, Anthony, actually, it's okay to vote for it since it's a ministerial vote.
Sure, if that's on the record, then that's fine. I'll go aye.
Okay. All right. Next item on our agenda is number 7A, Lincoln Professional Park. And it is the rezoning certain property known as the Lincoln Professional Park to C commercial pursuant to the Parker Land Development Ordinance and amending the zoning ordinance and map to conform therewith. And 2, a use by special review to allow a gas station. And we will open the public hearing at 7:03. Stacy, we're all yours.
Perfect. All right. Good evening, Chairman and Planning Commission members. This is the Lincoln Professional Park zoning and use by special review. So the subject site is located at the southeast corner of Lincoln Avenue and Dransfeld Road. The site is currently located within unincorporated Douglas County. The applicant has submitted 2 applications. The first application is a request to zone approximately 4.37 acres to C commercial, concurrent with the proposed annexation of the property into the town. Per the town charter, concurrent zoning is required at the time of annexation. The second application is a use by special review to allow for a gas station on the property. The proposed C commercial zoning within the town lists a gas station as a use permitted by special review. The area immediately surrounding the site is a car wash and Lowe's to the west, Murdoch's and retail commercial to the south, or to the north, ET Technologies to the south, and a vacant property of Walgreens to the east. The applicant is proposing to annex the property into the town of Parker and zone the property C commercial. The proposed C commercial zoning is consistent with the uses within the surrounding area and is the exact same zoning as the properties located to the east. The property is located along a major commercial corridor in close proximity to Parker Road, away from many residential uses. The proposed zoning would follow the town's land development ordinance as to uses permitted by right, those permitted by special review, height, and setback. The proposed use by special review is to allow for a gas station on the property. The applicant is proposing to construct a 5,637 square foot convenience store with gas at the northwest corner of the property. Uses by special review are established in zone districts when a proposed use may present external impacts that require additional review beyond those uses that are considered uses by right. The request for a use by special review is a discretionary request made by a private property owner or applicant. The use by special review is to determine whether or not the requested use meets or can meet, subject to conditions, the 9 approval criteria set forth within the land development ordinance. A use by special review does not include the review of specific development standards or construction standards. The review of those items occurs during the site plan or building permit processes. The town has contemplated the annexation and ultimate incorporation of this area of unincorporated Douglas County into the town of Parker since 2002. The property is located within the Central Commercial District of the Parker 2035 Master Plan. The Central Commercial District focuses on core retail, services, offices, lodging, restaurants, entertainment, and to a lesser extent, higher density residential. The proposed rezoning to commercial and the use by special review for a gas station are consistent with the Central Commercial District goals, as the proposal will help ensure adequate opportunities for expansion of the town's economic base, continue the commercial corridor along Lincoln Avenue, and support new businesses by providing additional land for commercial development. There are 9 criteria used to evaluate a rezoning and 9 criteria used to evaluate a use by special review. These criteria ensure that a need exists, the proposal is consistent with the master plan, the use will be consistent with the surrounding area, it will not create traffic congestion or be detrimental to the town. After evaluating the information provided by the applicant for the zoning and the use by special review, staff has determined that the proposal meets the 9 approval criteria set forth in the land development ordinance for both zoning and uses by special review. Staff has reviewed the proposal and has determined that the project is consistent with the master plan. Utility providers have confirmed capacity and availability. All notice requirements have been satisfied. Therefore, staff recommends that the Planning Commission recommend Town Council approve the Lincoln Professional Park zoning and use by special review to allow a gas station subject to the 4 conditions contained within the staff report. This concludes staff's presentation. The applicant is here tonight and does have a presentation for you, and I am available for any questions you may have.
Let's start with questions for Stacy. I'll just go down the roll again. If you have a question or whatever. Rich?
Yes, Stacy, I have a question. I'm not quite clear about the easement. I think I understand it from where the gas station would be to where that road is now off of Lincoln going around to the Walgreens. But the other one that says through the Walgreens property, providing access to Parker Road. So what does that actually mean?
So it's not something that the town has looked at yet, as we are currently just in the process of annexation and zoning. But what we'd like to see with this property, so you have this property and then the property to the east, which is currently vacant, and then the Walgreens, is providing better access for this entire corner. Going from Dransville all the way over to Parker Road. Most likely the Walgreens access that comes in off of Lincoln won't be sufficient, and possibly looking at an additional access point south of Walgreens, possibly right by the Napa auto parts store. And then the north-south coming in from Lincoln, that is a right in, right out only, but providing access to all the properties at this corner, as well as possibly providing access to the ET Technologies to the south.
Okay. And I guess one more thing. I know about 1.5 years ago, we were given a presentation by CDOT and Town of Parker on that intersection. And I think they were saying they were estimating 5 or 6 years, and they made modify that intersection? Is that, how will that affect that easement and going out by Napa there? Do we know?
So there's two phases to that plan. The first phase would be, as Stacy mentioned, moving that right in, right out, extending that acceleration lane on southbound Parker Road. And that would align with the new access point. Actually, there are three phases. There's another version, the next step, which is kind of a deferred left, which takes the left turns out of the intersections and moves them to the north and south to give you more through time. And then the last version is actually a flyover at that intersection.
Oh,
That
okay.
flyover is many years out for cost, but also because it's traffic won't be at that level for many years.
Okay, all right, thank you. That's all I have.
John?
Stacy, about how much of the site will the gas station and pumps take up?
So of the site that we're annexing tonight, it's based on their conceptual plan. It looks to take up about half of it. One of the things that is a little confusing with the site plan or their conceptual plan is that is the lowest part of the property. And so a big chunk of that corner is actually a detention pond. And so what you're seeing is the building's actually set back a little bit further to the east because of that detention pond. But it'll be evaluated once we get a site plan and a plat that actually plats the property into a buildable lot to know just how much of that property will be developed as a gas station.
Okay, and maybe the developer will answer this, or maybe nobody has an answer. Are there any conceptual plans for the remainder of the site for what type of a facility they may put on that? I would assume, what, to the south of the station?
Yes, we will let the applicant address that. I believe they have a slide in their presentation for that.
Okay, that's all.
Okay. Tracy?
Nothing further.
Kim?
So, sorry, Stacy, going back to Rich's question, the applicant, I see in the full packet that the applicant has to provide easement. Is there an agreement between Walgreens and Napa and the other places, or is that like a Parker right of way where they kind of are required to provide easement? How are you dealing with the other business owners in that regard?
So the existing access off of Lincoln, the right in, right out that goes across the middle property over to Walgreens, there is an access easement across that piece of property, which will have to stay in place. The future access, the cross access east, west, north, south, we'll probably be looking at having this developer property owner reach out to those current property owners to see if that's something they would be interested in. For right now, Napa has access. You can go right in, right out on Parker Road, or right in, right out on Lincoln. You can't go back to the west. And so it would kind of be a shared benefit between all of the property owners because there will be a full movement access at Dransfeld through this property.
Okay. And I guess we deal with that if they say no at that point?
Correct.
And then my other question was, and I looked at everybody's comments and it didn't look like there were too many comments. One was P3 thinks there's a better application for a business, or it's not what they think is the best business for this area. So P3 is who did the master plan, correct?
P3 is Parker's Urban Renewal Authority. It used to be PAR. It's now changed names to P3. So this property technically isn't in the Urban Renewal Authority because it's not in the town yet, but this corner is within the Urban Renewal Authority. And what their comments mean is that the use of a gas station at that hard corner, they don't believe is the highest and best use, and it wouldn't qualify for PAR or P3 funding.
Okay, so it's actually the surface owner or the property owner or the developers, I mean, that's how it should be. I'm sure they've done their due diligence and figured out what would be best for them at this corner. So P3 doesn't have necessarily a say in this, but they're just making a comment that there won't be any funding for this project if they go through with the gas station.
Correct.
Okay, that's all from me.
Anthony?
Yeah, in the report, page 16, it talks about 3 conditions, and then other places it talks about 4 conditions. I saw the 3 listed. I'm just wanting to make sure that we didn't miss a condition somewhere.
You are correct. There are only 3 conditions. That is in there.
Okay, that's fine. That's all I wanted to know. No, I actually think that's a good spot for a gas station. So I have no other questions.
Okay, thank you. Okay, does Jeff, do we want to turn on the applicant's mic and have that person come to the screen?
We'll get that going right now, Chairman.
So I'll just ask, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you
Just let me know when you want a page or the slide changed.
I will do that.
Hello, Mr. Connolly. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. It's been a couple of years since I've been in front of the planning committee.
Right.
Nice to see you again. Brian Connolly with the law firm of Ott and Johnson, Robinson, Neff, and Raganetti. You need my address?
Please.
Business address is 950 17th Street, Suite 1600 in Denver. We have the privilege of being here this evening representing, Plaza Street Partners, which is the applicant and the prospective developer of this project. And we have a short presentation since Stacy has done an excellent job as usual in going through the details of the application. Next slide, please. You know what the request is. We're asking for, initial zoning here, as well as use by special review. Next slide. I'm privileged to be here this evening with Ryan Sass, who's representing Plaza Street Partners. My colleague Lindsay Lida is also on the line, and the engineer for the project is the Harris Coger Smith engineering firm, and we have Rachel Patton on the line as well. She will be available to answer any questions. Next slide. I'd like Ryan to pipe up here if she can and offer you a little bit of background on Plaza Street Partners before we talk more about the concept plan.
Hello, good evening, commissioners.
Okay.
My name is Ryan Sass. I am Vice President of Pre-Development here at Plaza Street Partners. And Plaza Street Partners is a real estate consulting and development company headquartered in Kansas City. We partner with quick service restaurant franchisors, franchisees, and other national freestanding retailers that we are looking to grow their brand through new unit delivery. We have overseen projects throughout the United States from Southern California to upstate New York, and several projects in Colorado, such as Colorado Springs, Leadville, and of course, the subject property in the town of Parker at Lincoln Avenue and Dransville Road. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic and the detriments that it's caused the economy, especially the retail and restaurant industries, our clients have continued to pursue their development pipelines. So we were lucky in that nature. Myself and our team here at Plaza Street Partners are very excited about the opportunity to redevelop the Lincoln Professional Park property, as we truly believe it will be a great asset to the town of Parker's community. We appreciate everyone's time this evening to hear our applications for rezoning and use by special review. We believe it will really help make this redevelopment possible. So if you guys have any questions for me this evening, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thanks, Ryan. We'll go next slide. Stacy's already told you where the property is, so we'll move on to the next slide. Well, I did note that one of the questions pertained to the concept plan for the entire property. This shows both the property that is being annexed and that we're requesting zoning on, as well as the property to the east. I'll just note a few things about the concept plan for you. Obviously, Stacy spoke to the gas station and its location, particularly with reference to the detention pond. As Stacy mentioned, the topography of the site is such that the detention pond needs to sort of be located at that hard corner of Lincoln and Dransfeld. So the prospective gas station is located there just to the east. And then you see where there are sites around the gas station that will offer an opportunity for a variety of retail or restaurant users. I also heard some of the questions about the access issues out to the east. So what you see on this concept plan is there is a current easement over the Lincoln Professional Park property that benefits the Walgreens. So the driveway that you see up there in the northeast corner is a driveway that benefits Walgreens. It will remain in place, so it will provide cross access to and from the Walgreens site for people coming and going to this property. We have been in discussions with the property owners to the east about this property potentially benefiting from an easement over there to allow access out to Parker Road. There's nothing that's been finalized yet, but those discussions have been generally positive discussions, and we think that we're confident that we'll be able to identify an opportunity for access there out to the east. And I would also just note that there is that four-way intersection there at Dransfeld Road. So there will be the ability for those properties to access out to the west as a result of this project. And I would also just note that this is truly a concept plan. So to the extent you're seeing drive-through restaurants and things like that on the concept plan, there is nothing firmed up there. These are just conceptual ideas for what might ultimately materialize here on this property. As Stacy mentioned, as part of this project, there will be improvements to both Dransfeld Road, right in, right out improvements there on Lincoln Avenue. I would also just add, in terms of the response to P3 about the gas station there on the corner, in many ways, the gas station user is what is driving the ability to do the infrastructure work and what's needed to make this entire development happen. That is the particular user here in this project that has had the earliest interest in it. And I would also just note that obviously this area, Lincoln and Dransfeld, is surrounded by many auto-oriented uses, and certainly a gas station is consistent with that those users that are in the area. Well, let's go to the next slide. This is just a zoomed in image of that gas station use and which is the subject of the use by special review. You see the fuel islands there in the middle, the store on the left or west side of it, and then the detention pond as well. Next slide. We think there are several benefits to the town from this project. I think Stacy covered these pretty well. It brings an enclave property into the town, which is obviously something that has been important to the town. We think it's well positioned for retail and commercial uses. As Ryan said, the pandemic has been difficult on retail and restaurant uses, but there is demand for it here, and I think will contribute positively to the town. And it presents an opportunity to reinforce the commercial uses around there as well. And then obviously there are several public improvements that will be made as part of this, including what I understand to be much needed public improvements, expansion along Dransfeld Road as well. Next slide. The next two slides actually cover the approval considerations that are before you, and you can go to the next slide as well for zoning and use by special review. I won't go through them in detail. I think Stacy's report does a very excellent job of covering them, but I would be happy to answer any questions that you have about them. And so we'll go to the next slide, and I think our team is ready and willing and happy to answer any questions. Thank you all, and we would of course, respectfully request to recommend approval of this.
Thank you, Mr. Connolly. And we'll open it up to questions from the group. Rich,
No questions.
John,
If approved, are you going to have conversations with Walgreen, Napa, all of the people along that easement that runs west of Parker Road for improvement? That particular piece of asphalt is on the verge of being dangerous, and I would assume if you pick up additional traffic from your station, it's going to get worse. And the driveways coming out of that area, if they do happen to go through the Walgreen parking lot, are also fairly challenging as they go uphill, and they are view encumbered. So are you planning on talking with the existing businesses along there to possibly improve that?
Commissioner, I want to make sure I'm understanding the question. You're talking about the driveways from the Walgreens and the Napa property out onto Parker Road?
Yes. There's the auto repair shop, Walgreens, Napa. Those are all in that strip there, and that piece of pavement has, I'm not absolutely positive, I believe 2 access points onto Parker Road from it. But it needs, for safety concerns, if people come from your property and go through the Walgreen parking lot to access onto Parker Road, I think that needs to be addressed.
Point taken, Commissioner. I appreciate the comment, and I am familiar from my traversing back and forth there in that area with the situation that you're talking about. I'll let Ryan speak to the extent that there's been any conversation about the pavement. My understanding is that the conversations have very much been at the level to date of whether we will be able to get access across those properties, and have not delved into the condition of pavement and the condition of the ingress and egress there. I think we can take stock of that comment, and to the extent that the conversations continue to develop in a positive way with those neighboring landowners, we can certainly transition the conversation to discussing how we might be able to improve the access situation.
Yeah, I understand it's premature, but I was just wondering if there was some thought given to that.
Yeah, like I say, the conversations to date have really been sort of about the ability to access across there, rather than any specifics about what that access looks like and any improvements to the existing pavement.
Okay, thank you.
Tracy?
I'm good, Gary.
Okay. Kim?
I think I'm good. I think most of my questions were answered. Thank you.
Anthony?
No, I'm good. Thanks. Nice presentation.
Okay. All right. And the chair has no questions. Thank you, Mr. Connolly. We appreciate your presentation. Next, we go to, since this is a public hearing, we call for public comment. And we will open the meeting to public comment. I don't know that I see any attendees. Would that be correct, Jeff?
Correct, Chairman. There are no other attendees.
Okay, then we will close the public comment portion of the meeting. And any further questions for the applicant or Stacy?
No.
No.
Okay. Then we will close the public hearing at 7:29. And Planning Commission discussion. We'll start with Rich.
Okay, it'll be nice to have that corner developed and have a revenue stream for the town. And I think the area requires a zoning change due to all the commercial buildup in the area over time. And I believe the 9 criteria have been met for the rezoning and the special review. So I think after rezoning, the property will be more compatible with the character in the surrounding area and add a good mix of use in the area. So I'll be for it.
John?
I agree with Rich. In my 22 years in Parker, that particular corner has been less than attractive and just sitting there, and a lot of it has deteriorated over the years. I'm glad to see someone come in and develop. I'm also very pleased that we are bringing that piece of real estate into the town of Parker now, which will give us a little more continuity in that entire area. So I'm very much for it.
Tracy?
I agree. I think the proposal is consistent with the master plan, and it's nice to see that it'll be developed and make sense with the surrounding areas of the existing commercial and light industrial that's already there in those areas. So you have my vote. I'm for it.
Mm-hmm. Kim?
I agree with the rest of my commissioners. I think that corner has been sitting vacant for way too long. It would be nice to pull some more revenue into the town, and looking forward to seeing the site plan.
Anthony?
Nothing other than what my fellow commissioners have said. So
Okay.
I'm all for it.
Okay. And I certainly, as chair, agree with what's been said so far. Like John, I've been here 20 years, and that's been kind of an eyesore for most of that time. So it's nice that something's going to get done there. All right. Do we have a motion on the first aspect, the zoning?
I move the Planning Commission recommend Town Council approve the zoning.
I'll second.
I didn't hear who that was. Rich?
Rick.
Okay. All right. Then we take a vote on the Planning Commission recommend Town Council approve the zoning. And I will call the question. Rich?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Tracy?
Aye.
Kim?
Aye.
Anthony?
Aye.
And the chair is aye. Motion passes 6-0. All right. Number 2, do we have a motion on the use by special review?
I move the Planning Commission recommend Town Council approve the Lincoln Professional Park use by special review to allow for a gas station subject to the 3 conditions contained in staff's report.
Second.
It's been moved by John, seconded by Rich, that Planning Commission recommend Town Council approve the Lincoln Professional Park use by special review to allow for a gas station subject to the 3 conditions contained in the staff's report. And I will call the question again. Rich?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Tracy?
Aye.
Kim?
Aye.
Anthony?
Aye.
Chair is aye. Motion passes 6-0. All right.
Very much, all of you.
Thank you, Mr. Connolly. All right. Next item, staff items. Bryce?
Thank you, Chair. Staff is recommending that the Planning Commission hold a special study session on April 29th. So that would be next Thursday at 7 p.m. To discuss coming back to council chambers and holding public hearings in council chambers, the timing of that, and the function of that. And so staff is looking for a motion and a second to hold that special study session.
Do we have a motion?
I move that we have a special study session on April 29th.
Second.
Been moved by John, seconded by Rich, that we hold a special Planning Commission study session on April 29th, 2021 at 7 p.m. And I will call the question. Rich?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Tracy?
Aye.
Kim?
I know. I won't, but I might be able to. I might be able to call in. I would say aye. I'm all for coming back.
Right. Okay. Anthony?
Aye. But
Okay.
I'm not for coming back, so I'll be against that, I think.
Well, it'll be a good discussion then.
You know.
And the chair is aye for the meeting. Okay, so Bryce, we will have a special Planning Commission meeting study session next Thursday at 7 o'clock.
Thank you, Chair. And Jeff will send out a Zoom meeting link.
Okay.
Hey, Bryce, will there be a phone number included?
Yes, there'll be a phone number.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
Nope.
We'll save them for the study session then. All right. Then we will adjourn the Planning Commission meeting at 7:35. Have a good weekend, everybody, and take care of yourselves.